Oh wow, that is a question. Oh my god. My own personality. I'd say that I'm someone who's very enthusiastic, like about acting and about life in general. I try and be as passionate as I can about things. I've been told before that I'm very energetic. I'm very like maybe that's why I've got some of the roles I've had because I'm quite a bouncy, quite energetic person. And yeah, I try and stay positive, try and see the best in everything I can, and the ups and the downs. Try and see so yeah, I'm all around trying to be positive as much as I can. Obviously, it's hard to 100% obviously be positive, but I'd say that's me. I'm saying I'm someone who's very. I try my best to be passionate and follow my passions in life. That's sort of me in a nutshell. But also, I do it in a way that I love to try and be as carefree as I can. I try not to get stressed out about little things. I've got a little phrase I use. Can I swear? Yeah, it's "fuck it" is my phrase. That's like my thing. And it's like, it's something I try and remind myself sometimes. You can get caught up in little things in life. So I try and be passionate, go all in, but at the same time, do it in a carefree way. And do you know what I mean? It makes you more positive then. You're not getting so caught up in everything. So that's Lewis Santer, I guess, in a nutshell. So I was 11 years old when I discovered I want to be an actor, and for the first 10 years of my life, I was actually really quite a shy kid. Like I'd always be okay with talking to people, but I'd hate being on stage. Like I used to cry when I used to like we did like a nativity show when I was like 6, 7, or whatever age I was, maybe even 5. And my parents said the minute I came on show as one of the wise men, I'd cry, and I hated being on. I hated it for some reason. And then, but I always went for small roles. And I think when I was 11, I don't know what happened to me. Maybe a fuck it moment happened. But I went for a big role in Cinderella Rockefeller. And I went for the role of Dan Dini, which is like the agent of Rockefeller. And he's like the fourth main character. And there's a lot of lines, like for 11 years old, like it was, I had to learn these lines and these songs and stuff. And I thought, I kind of went, I'm going to go all in. And I did the role and I loved it. I had this buzz and the character was quite funny. So I was getting laughs from the audience. One of my teachers came on and gave a speech about me to the audience, said like, I got a round of applause. And that was just that feeling, like that drug of that buzz of being on stage and people liking your performance and stuff like that. And that kind of just had a switch in me. And then that was it. From about 11 onwards, I went to theatre school every summer in London, and then did it at school, did it at college, did it at drama school. And then lo and behold, now I'm doing it professionally, which is like a dream for me. So, but ever since that time is when it like flicked the switch. Yeah, that's another dream for me because a lot of people ask me this, but I actually love horror films. Like I've loved them since I was like 6, 7 years old. I used to like secretly watch Paranormal Activity and like Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street, all the classics when I was younger. Even though I wasn't meant to, mum and dad weren't happy that I was watching it, but secretly with friends would put them on. And I've always loved horror films. And then I actually watched the 2017 version with Bill Skarsgård, and I think what he did with Pennywise was just absolutely phenomenal, I thought. And I remember watching it in cinemas, and that was like another flick in the switch sort of moment, because I remember watching it thinking, the effect it's had on me, like I'd love the chance to ever have a character where I could just have so much fun in prosthetics and with the voice and everything and the physicality. And then that was another moment. So from about 2017 onwards, I always said I want to play like a horror killer or a horror icon. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. And have like that the chance to do it. And then when Tigger came along, that's why that was like a dream, because it was like, oh my God, it's like manifested into it happening. So yeah. My fascination with it personally is because I actually did love Winnie the Pooh. Like I loved Tigger, he was my favourite character. I loved Owl and all of the characters. When I was a kid, I had all the toys, and especially Tigger toys. I had a load of like of the animatronic toys. I think I had T-shirts and stuff. But that was when I was a kid, and I'm now 24. So if I was still watching Winnie the Pooh, it would be a bit strange. Like people would be checking up on me if I was like loving Winnie the Pooh. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's cool that they've now put it into like a horror spotlight, like a horror world, because it's like you can enjoy, to some extent, you can enjoy these characters in a horror light. Does that make sense? Like you're still technically watching Winnie the Pooh, you're watching Tigger, but you're watching in a adult way now, in a mature way, where they're not all friendly and it's all like cartoonish. It's now they're slaughtering people. But I think it's great. You can still enjoy these characters, but just in a different light, in a different world. So yeah, I find it fascinating. It's really interesting actually, because when I did Tigger, I then did a couple more horror films after where I was a killer again and again. So I got quite used to playing the killer, and I've done a bit of comedy for like shows and other little projects and stuff, like commercial little things. We like do a bit of comedy, But this is like my real first chance in a film to really have like a lot of footage or a lot of screen time and playing for these like funny scenes. So it was interesting to play a hero, and he's a different type of hero as well. He's not very heroic. He kind of is accidentally a hero. He's like a bit of a coward and he doesn't take stuff seriously. But then in the end, he kind of does come back to, obviously spoilers, but does become a bit of a hero by the end of it. And it's nice. It's nice to have the difference. Like I do love playing killers. Like it's really fun to in some areas to play a killer, but it's also really fun in a different way to play a hero and have more to work with, I guess. So yeah, it's been a nice change for this. So I love improv. I'm a bit naughty. Like I always go off book. Like I'm really, even in auditions, like I go off book a lot. And I feel like it's a nice thing to do because I feel like the lines are important. But if you're in the character and it's truthful, I think it's nice to go a bit off script, I think. As long as it's truthful and you're in the character. And that's why it was great working with Timo, because Timo is very similar to my working style. Like he loved some of the improv, and even on the day I'd get to set and he'd go, come with me, I've got a little thing I want to add on. And I'd come and he'd say, I want to add these lines in this scene, what do you think? And there'd be like some funny lines or some story building lines. And I go, yeah, I love it. So even he was the same as me. We were both coming up with stuff on the spot and on the day. And I think it's great. I think it's more organic and more natural sometimes. I think when you just have lines that you're learning and you're drilling it, sometimes it can become a bit, not wooden, but it kind of is rehearsed. You can tell it's rehearsed. So when it's like improv, completely off the top of your head, crazy shit coming out your mouth, I think sometimes it's more organic and it reads better on screen. So I quite like improv for that reason. That was amazing. Yeah, he's probably my top 5 actors and have been like since I was watched Django and stuff like that when I was quite young. And yeah, it was a dream working with him. He was really obviously professional and stuff, but he was nice. We had a good laugh actually. Like there was a moment I had a little chat with him on the lunch break, and we had a good chat about films and about Barcelona. So we filmed it, chatting about Barcelona and stuff like that. Like you kind of get these ideas of what they might be like as a person, and it was actually very different. He was actually quite chilled out, even though he was professional, but we did have a bit of a laugh, and we did some improv for that as well. So that director, I worked with another commercial on another brand. And Tom, his name is the director, he's great. He loves improv as well. And he said to Christoph, let's try some stuff out. So we went off book for that commercial, and we did so many different takes. And yeah, so it was a lot of fun. Oh, there's so many actors I'm inspired by. If I had to say one, I'd say probably Johnny Depp. I think Johnny Depp is the guy that's had that kind of career that he's played so many interesting characters. And that's what I want to do. I want to play so many characters like Tigger, like Brian, that are so far from maybe not Brian, I'm quite similar to him, but like characters that are far from myself, I find really interesting. And obviously Johnny Depp's done Jack Sparrow, Mad Hatter, and Willy Wonka, and all these crazy characters, and done it so well. So I look at his career as something like a blueprint. I think I'd love to have something like that, where you're playing so many quirky characters. So yeah, I'd say Johnny Depp's probably my idol. Yeah, thank you. TALKploitation des Brauch.